Hi. Okay, so freedom is yours when you end the battle. What does this mean? Freedom is yours when you end the battle. Health, freedom. Health is yours when you end the battle, right? Healing is yours when you end the battle. So some of you who are chronically ill know what I'm talking about, right? Where your attention goes, you breathe life into it. So your illness, your symptoms, your suffering, your feelings around all of your illness and your suffering exist because we battle against ourselves. We battle against them being there. So we hate being sick. We don't want to be sick. We want to be well. We are in opposition. We're in a battle. And I am so guilty of this. I have been in a battle with my symptoms. By the way, I'm wearing this Maple Leafs hat. It's my son's, not mine. I just threw it on my head because I haven't brushed my hair. But it does show that I'm from Canada. Anyway, what I want to say is we are in a battle, right? With ourselves, with the symptoms themselves, with the illness itself, with the story around it, with everything that happened, how life isn't fair, how it's not going our way. Basically, all our problems exist because we give them life. And how do we give them life? We give them life through focus. And even when we're not focusing on them, like dwelling in them and talking about them and conversing about them with other people and sharing the symptoms, sharing the story and sharing the misery, although we have been guilty of in the past, and we do, even when we just knowing that they are there and we turn toward them in a battle every day, like I hate you, I wish you would go away. We're giving it the attention that it needs to stay alive. You know, this illness, everything in life wants to be alive. Everything, from the plants to the animal. I mean, this is very esoteric, but everything wants to live and everything will do whatever it can to stay alive, to be alive, to have its life, to experience its life on this planet. And your symptoms, your illness, your pain, your suffering is here and it wants to live. It wants to be alive. It wants to experience its manifestation here on earth. And the only way that it can is if we breathe it life, if we give it life. The only way we can give it life is through our attention, through our focus, through our battle against it. And we can't have freedom when we are, oh, who cares about my hair? All right, we can't have, sorry, I put on the hat, but the hat is distracting me. Okay. We cannot have freedom when we just simply look and look and look at our problems, because that's going to create more problems. It's going to create more of what we don't want. It's going to create more of the bad in our life. Just simply by acknowledging that we hate it is giving it more life. So I'm sure that you can relate to this. I'm sure that you have done this. I'm sure maybe it's your main mission and goal, as it has been my goal for the past 7 years, to eradicate this illness, to get better, to do whatever it takes, to do all the supplements, to do all the diets, to do all the gadgets, to do all the gizmos, to leave no stone unturned, right? To basically do whatever we can. It doesn't matter what it takes. Like a person trying to win the Olympics, just up at the crack of dawn, focusing on it until we go to bed. We're going to do everything we can to heal. The problem with this is every day at the crack of dawn, we're basically getting up and breathing life to this. We're like looking at it. We're saying, you are very important. We need to heal you. We need to focus on you. But what's happening is it's like, yes, it's becoming alive. It's becoming a bigger force than any force could ever be, because we are directing all our focus and all our attention to getting rid of it. And, you know, what we resist persists, and that is just true. So what do we do? Okay, so there's kind of two ways that you can go about doing this, and they're very different, which is what often hangs people up and what gets people confused. And I've gone in circles around this so many times. And I think it best not to try to figure out if one's true, how can the other be true? If the other's true, how can one be true? How do we marry them? How do we understand this in a way that makes sense? I think it's just best to say there are two different ways. I mean, some people can lose weight by exercising. Some people can lose weight by dieting. Some people can lose weight by, whatever it is, right? There's different ways to skin a cat. So these are the different ways. These are the different ways. I don't know. Okay. Obviously, this hair is just not going to go my way today. Not like I ever really try. It's just I really haven't brushed it in like 2 days. Okay, back on goes the hat. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Again, focus on the hair is distracting me from the symptoms, but it's distracting me from this video, right? So what you give your focus on grows. Okay, so the two ways that you can do this. One is you can become a master at meditation and detaching. So this is very hard to do when you're sick because often when we sit in meditation, our symptoms get worse. Why? Because we have nothing to distract ourselves with anymore. We're basically sitting and we're feeling our body. We're feeling into the source of what already hurts. So it magnifies usually when we meditate, and that's why sick people don't meditate very often because it's frustrating because it grows. As soon as we give our attention to it, as soon as we sit down and let everything else go, the predominant thing, which is what we're connecting to, our body, our mind, it grows. And so it's very hard when it's growing to not get caught up in the victimhood of it and the sadness of it and the suffering of it and the exhaustion of it and all the feelings of it, right? Sorry, I just remembered I had something on the stove that I'm going to take off. Hang on. Okay. So if we can detach from it. There we go. Okay. If we can detach from it, meaning we are going to feel the symptoms and we're going to feel them more when we're in a meditative stance. And sometimes that's just not good. But if we feel them and we don't fight against them, we don't battle against them, or we don't wallow in our own victimhood and self-pityness of having them. If we can rise up above them and detach from them and go like, that is a sensation. It is neither bad or good. It's just a sensation. I don't like it, but it's here and I'm going to let it pass. And we can just let the symptoms pass. Sometimes we'll notice that they will shift from one area to another area, to another area, to another area. And this is just simply them having a chance to flow. It's when we get caught up in one that one stays, and then that particular symptom stays dominant all day. But if we can detach from them, just accept them, accept that they are here, and accept that there's nothing in this moment, not overall, but in this moment that we can do to make them better in this exact moment. And that the best thing that we can do is sit with them, allow them to be here, but not give them our full undivided attention, like with the story, with the suffering, with the pain and the suffering and the pity and the victimhood and the fighting. If we can just see them for what they are and detach and say, that is not me. And the more I look at it, the more it will grow. And just detach and let it float by. Just accept that it's here and allow it to pass, and eventually it will pass. That's difficult. That is a difficult way, but it's very important. And the second way that we can do it is we can literally take our attention off of one thing and put it onto something else. So often that's where something else comes into play, something else that we want in our life. A hobby or a relationship or whatever it is, something that you want to do, something that brings you joy or happiness or love or closeness or is getting you towards some goal in your future that you see a real point in pursuing that is going to help you long term, and that's part of your plan and part of your what you would be doing if you weren't having these symptoms. And we shift our focus from feeling, really wallowing and feeling in the symptom, and we just put our attention on something else. And a lot of people call it distraction, but I don't like to distract because it has a running quality and sort of an escapism quality. It's kind of the opposite of fighting, and it's running away from. And that also makes things grow because we're in resistance when we run from it. I literally mean saying, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, I accept you, you're here, but I choose to focus on something else. I choose to focus on love. I choose to focus on my relationship. I choose to focus on going for this walk. I choose to focus on making my dinner. I choose to focus on any number of things that you want, hobbies, goals, dreams, anything that you've broken down into smaller pieces. I choose to focus on this task because this is actually what I want to manifest in my life, not more of this, right? So we will have freedom when we give up the fight. And the fight is often, resistance. It comes in the form of resistance. It comes in the form of trying to overpower. It comes in the form of wanting to find all the answers. It comes in the form of just resisting what actually is. It comes in the form of everything. You have to let it be. You don't have to accept that you're going to be sick forever, that you're going to have an illness, or that you just have to suffer and that's all there is to it. No, it's like you have to accept that this is reality right now, and reality will and can shift. When we give our attention to something else, reality begins to shift. And when the symptoms diminish and when the symptoms are not predominant in our mind and something else takes its place, whether it's momentarily or for a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, whatever it is, we start to live in that more and more and more and more. And as we do that, we are not simply battling against what is, battling against the current form of reality, battling against ourselves, battling against the symptom that is here for a reason, to get your attention, to tell you something, to have you recognize something, or simply to get you to love it or feel sorry for it or talk to it or soothe it. I mean, it's okay to talk to your symptoms. It's okay to say, I hear you. I see you. I see you're in pain, but I'm not going to go there. I see it from above. I see it. I'm sorry. But let's rise above it and look at something else, because we can't change it. We can't change it. We have no other option. We have no other way to do it other than just, it's here right now. So other than just allowing it to be here and be in full feeling and acceptance of it and watch it pass as we don't attach to it. Or we can just simply take our attention off of it and place it onto something that we do want. Those being the two ways that we can, take our freedom back and end the fight. So I will, close this video the same way I started it, by saying you can have your freedom when you end the fight. And every person's fight is a little different. But when you end it, when you set down your weapons, when you surrender, when you end the fight, you're free.